Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. So I did a video about why Bitcoin could reach 100K next in October or next month. Now I'm going to do a video about the opposite. I think the Bitcoin bull run will actually end early next year, and there's a specific reason for it. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Fed tapering. What tapering actually is when the Fed actually pulls back on buying stocks or bonds. Now, why are you saying why are the Fed buying stocks or bonds anyways? Well, just to keep the economy going and keep it rising as much as possible to get a better economy. Now, they shouldn't have really done this besides for COVID and the 2008 crash, but they've kind of continued all along. And sometimes they taper and pull back. And I think the next time they're actually going to do that is actually early next year. Jerome Powell actually mentioned that they're going to do it early next year. So I think part of the reason that crypto has gone up again today is because the Fed announced they're actually not going to taper this year, but they are going to taper next year. Early, and it's going to last until mid next year. So that period between early next year and mid next year could be a decent drop. Now, I do believe there's other factors like, when we reach 100K, if the Bitcoin ETF comes through, people are obviously going to want to take profit. Remember, the big institutional buyers, they're not going to be too concerned with short-term moves. The big institutional buyers are going to be buying for more of a long-term, at least medium-term investments. And they see like 3 or 4 years as an investment as like no time at all. I know many crypto investors see like 1 or 2 years in crypto as forever, and they want profits within like a few months or a few weeks. Big institutional investors are not that fidgety. They can easily wait 3 or 4 years for 5 or 10x. Now, I think like small investors should be that way as well. Like if you're not that way and you need profits by next week, that's when the whales can actually take advantage of you because they can easily make you panic. But institutional investors are not going to panic. They're not going to mass sell. They're just going to laugh as little mice liquidate so they can buy at a lower price. So I do think some people are going to profit take once we get above 100K, if we get above 100K. And then some of the whales will start manipulating the market and the market will probably go down. And like Grayscale is not going to sell their stuff. MicroStrategy is not going to sell. They're just going to buy more on the dip. But the retail sellers, when they see the market start collapsing, they'll actually want to sell off. And I do believe even with the institutional investors coming in and everything, the market, Bitcoin can actually lose 50% of its value. And if Bitcoin loses 50% of its value, I do believe altcoins can lose 70 to 80, possibly 85% of their value. So if VeChain reaches $1, it could go back down 15 cents. That is why selling at the top or towards the top is very important. Once you see Bitcoin crest 100K, I think it is at least wise to start DCAing out on some of your investments. Now, I wouldn't, if you're into altcoins and Bitcoin just hits 100K, I don't think that's the time to actually bail out. I think you need to wait until the altcoins start popping. But once your altcoins start popping and it reaches your intended goal, maybe I think it'll probably do that within a couple of days, then you need to start DCAing out. You don't want to get left holding the bag. Yes, if you invested back in 2018, even at the lowest, you'll still be up over what you invested in 2018, but you'll be down 80, 90% from the top, and there's no reason to take that loss. Don't be too greedy and miss out on all those gains. It's much better to sell out, like while you're going up or near the top. When it starts going down, then wait forever for the next big thing while it drops to the bottom. Remember that point. You gotta take some profit. And like once Bitcoin crests that 100K mark, these other altcoins are going to start to pop off. Once they reach your goal or once they really start popping off and you see the pop off start to level off, you got to sell at least your original investment back or several times your original investment back. If you want to take like 5x profit just to make sure you have profit and then leave the rest in there for house money, that's perfectly fine, I think. At least you're making 500% profit, and there's things much worse than making 500% profit in investing. But you want to take some profit. I'm probably going to sell 80, 90% of all my cryptos once they actually reach my goals. Like when VeChain hits $1, I'll probably sell at least 50, 60% of it. If it hits like 125, 150, I will probably sell like the other 40% and leave maybe 5% in there. Same thing for ADA and other cryptos. I'm not going to leave them in there forever and just wait for it to fall down because I know there will be a dip. Even if institutions are coming in, there will still be a pretty big dip. Even when they actually come in, because it's inevitable. that like people are going to want to take profits, especially retail investors. Remember, these institutions buy over the counter, which doesn't directly affect the markets nearly as much as retail investors. And once retail investors start taking profits, it is going to cascade down, whether we like it or not. But that just gives us a much better chance to buy the bottom. And I think like you should actually wait like at least 6 months before buying back in once you cash out, because I think it takes at least a couple of months for it to reach the bottom. Remember back in 2018, we started dumping essentially in January or February, and we didn't really hit a low until like basically November or December 2018. That was partially because of the Craig Wright, that was partially because of CSW and his stupid hash war, but it was going down anyway. So at least wait half a year before buying back in, because I think like it won't reach its bottom until about half a year later. I don't think the next bear market's going to last quite as long as the previous one, but it'll have a length of time, and I think you'll have at least a year to actually buy in. So that's the way I see it. That's the Fed tapering and investors taking profit at 100K is why I think Bitcoin will actually dump early next year. And that's why I think you should actually wait half a year or a year before buying back in, so you can buy back in towards the bottom and wait for the next run. That will happen in another 2 or 3 years. So 2 or 3 years is not a long time for investing, and you can wait that long to make your massive profits. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.